call this meeting to order. Please take notice that pursuant to Section 7E of the Illinois Open Meetings Act 5 ILCS 120 7E and the gubernatorial disaster proclamation issued by Governor J.B. Pritzker on January 3rd, 2021, the Board of Trustees for the Decatur Public Library is conducting this meeting by audio and/or video conference. I need a motion to approve the agenda.
Move.
Renee, I think you have to second because there's only the two of you.
Yeah.
Okay, well then I will second it.
Okay, Samantha,
Yes.
Renee,
Yes.
Sophia, yes. So passed. The minutes from January 12th, 2022, did everybody look those over?
I did. I didn't see anything.
I didn't either. So if somebody wants to make a motion,
I'll move to approve.
Renee?
Yeah, and I will second that.
Excellent. So Samantha,
Yes.
Renee,
Yes.
Sophia, yes. Okay, so passed. Okay, written communication from the public?
None.
Excellent. Old business, capital needs?
Yeah, nothing new on that. It's just a standing item. We don't have anything new on it right now. So
The
Did you
lawn,
hear-
I assume.
The lawn, yeah. Did
yeah,
you hear-
when spring hits,
Did you hear anything from Scott about the Friends?
no, and that's my fault because I didn't reach out to him. So I'm gonna write that down so that I do that. And we even talked about it after the meeting, and I haven't sent that email yet.
Okay, and I don't think we have any other old business. I do love the sign. I
Mhm.
love driving by and seeing that sign.
That looks so cool.
Yep. And then, okay, so new business, the check register.
I want to point a few things out, unless you guys have questions first.
No, you can
No.
print them.
You
So
can point 'em out.
So what I want to point out is there were a couple of things that were charged to. We have some anomalies this month, and it's due largely to almost a completely new staff over at City Finance, except for Greg. One of them is that we had a couple of checks that were written under service to maintain buildings, and those should have been. Here comes Jacoby. Those should have been city costs, not library costs.
Like the plumbing, water heat?
Exactly. Yeah. So that will get rectified in February, in this month. So in March when we meet and I show you the February numbers, you will see that that problem's gotten fixed. Hey, Jacoby.
Hi,
Hey, how's
Jacoby.
it going, Rick? Hey, how's it going, everybody?
Hello.
So those were the two things I really wanted to point out, that those were noted. Those are going to be fixed. There'll be something else I want to talk to you about on the actuals, the budget actuals, but
Okay.
those were the big things. And I know there's some big expenses. I've got databases pulled up to show you guys if you want to take a look at what we're paying for.
Sure. I mean, I
Sure.
had like obviously the $28,000 one. It was the one I had a question on.
And
So
that's the EBSCOhost package, right? So that's the whole package. Let me start sharing my screen here. Here we go. So this gives us novelist K to 8, consumer health complete, legal info art, and we do have, Alyssa, we do have all of these, right? Literary Reference Center Plus, we got the whole package.
Correct. We have everything.
I used
the-
Novelist like a couple days ago.
Yeah, so this gets us a whole suite of databases. One of the things that we'll talk about next week that's going to be, what to me is really interesting, is that although these are not considered circulating collections because you don't return what you get, the information you get, you keep it, so you can print it off and it's yours. This is what we call, when I do the Illinois Public Library annual report, we call this successful retrieval of electronic information. So when you include that number, that total number of successful retrievals of electronic information, you add that to all your circulation, both physical and electronic, you get your total collection use. Our total collection use actually went up in 2021 from 2019. Not from 2020. Yes, it did go up from 2020 a lot, but it's hard to count that. It went up from 2019 also. So this is an entire suite of reference databases. Some of the other things you'll see on there is world, what is it? World trade. No, I lost it. It's A to Z. It's the A to Z database package. World Trade Press. It's a $2,800. So that's where we get the world maps. This is one of my favorites. It's to us an upside down map, but it's just as legit as any other map. It just puts north on the bottom and south on the top. It gives you a very different perspective. I used to work with a guy from New Zealand, and he had one of these in his office to say, look, y'all aren't always on top. Sometimes you can't.
That's awesome.
funny.
This is the A to Z USA geography database, A to Z food database, Food America, and then there's a world food. So you click on a map, so you want to see what some nice Algerian food is like. You can get some recipes. If you're going to travel there, you can see what the dining etiquette is. It's very cool. I don't use it enough. I forget we have it, but it's cool stuff. A to Z World Travel. It's like a travel guide, but it's all in one here.
Well, that's cool.
And then A to Z World Culture. So that's what that $2,800 gets us there. Fold 3 is a database of it's a military history database. So you can look up people's military records.
It was really cool. I did use that not recently.
It's got a lot of cool stuff. And the newest thing that I like, and this was paid out of the Meyer Fund, so it's on the last page, the FLMO Library Edition Services. These are historical fire insurance maps, and this is Decatur from 1887, I think.
That's cool.
So I thought this was very cool, but I didn't know whether our archivist would think it was cool. And oh yeah, she did. So, so we're going to give it a try, which is brand new.
She gets pretty excited by those things. I can believe it.
Yes. It's brand new, but it's got a lot of cool stuff on it. You can look and see businesses and even where people lived. And I think it's a fun resource. We'll see if it's one that is well used, but those were our big expenses. So happy to take any questions.
That's all I had.
That's all I had too. I need to change my view. I had it on speaker, so I like being able to see everybody.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I had. I don't know. I would take a motion to present the check registry if anybody wants to at this point, because I think everything else was pretty straightforward.
I'll move to send the check register to the full board.
You second? You're on mute, Jacoby.
I second. So,
Excellent. Okay, so all in favor, Samantha,
Yes.
Jacoby,
yes.
Anae,
Yes.
Sophia, yes. So we will present the check registry. The next item, hold on, I've got too many screens on my computer, is the February actuals.
I'm going to share that screen also.
Thank you. I looked at it. I just don't have it in front of me. You make it a little bigger.
Yeah. Is that big enough?
Yep.
Okay. It's hard to know anything from 1 month of data, but I do want to point out a couple, and that's why you don't usually you guys are used to seeing a projection. I don't do a projection until we've got a quarter of data in, because 1 month can really be dicey from which to predict. But I do want to point out another anomaly here, something that should not have happened. And I honestly, I'm not sure if it's gonna. So we have a staff member that in local history, Leanne Grossman. She's library assistant, half-time in local history, and she's been paid for a long time out of the Meyer Fund. The Meyer Fund is a let me find it here. It's a private donation that is earmarked for local history use. So we paid her out of that fund since we hired her a few years ago. I wanted this year to stop using that fund to pay her salary. So I didn't budget anything coming out of there for salary or anything coming in for salary, yet it happened. So she got paid. That's not, there was also that cool old map thing I showed you and some other stuff. But some of that $7,000 is roughly $2,000 is her salary. So talk to the budget officer over at the city, and again, this is his first budget cycle, and he just he didn't know that was stopped. So what's going to happen is next month we'll move that money back into the Meyer Fund, so you'll see a couple of $1,000s received here.
Okay.
And you'll see a transfer out from the operating fund. The other thing I wanted to point out, a mea culpa, is that, all right, so, and it's not going to show on this. So this is our capital reserve fund cash on hand. There it is, 530, a little over $500,000. That's because we moved 200,000 at the end of last year. Okay, it wasn't showing up yet in our January meeting, but it did get done. But the if you've followed along and done the math and go back to last year, you're going to see a $2,000 differential there. That's because when on January 1st of 2020, I miskeyed the starting fund. I overshot it by $2,000. Anybody wants to look at that records of that month by month, I'm happy to go over that with you. It was a miskey and I didn't notice it, and it just kept perpetuating itself. Then I got to the end of the year and I'm like, that doesn't match up. So there's a $2,000 differential there, but that's $500,000 in that fund now, and we had no capital reserve fund 8 years ago, none at all. Our attorney advises us, and he's, as usual, he's right, that it's time to spend some of that.
Well, we talked about buying bookshelves and furniture for the library.
So our hope is to begin the process of getting the specs together and putting it out to bid summer. Hopefully put it out to bid by late summer, and then have the project in the fall. We don't want to be having a major project like that during the summer reading program.
Sure.
But
So,
that's where we're at.
one of the things I was going to say is you talked about the fact that we don't get a lot of publicity for actually not being in the red anymore. And maybe this is one of the things that we publicize as our new stacks and our new furniture that came out of, reserve funds, and that we were able to save for it.
Yes. Anybody who will listen, and it'll be in the press release that we come up with at the time. Absolutely. The only other thing to say, there's just no surprises here. This is all pretty much what we would expect. And you know, this number is a little bit higher than it would normally be in January, but you saw it's all those databases that just came to it once, you know.
What's the 160 from the all other line, like that?
Oh, that's all other revenue. I can show you, and that's the other thing I wanted to bring up to you guys. So a couple of years ago, the chair of this committee advised me to greatly simplify what I show you guys. But I thought, as I thought about it, and I've got a fairly new committee here, makeup of committee here, you guys might want all the details. And I don't want to ever be thought that I'm trying to keep anything from you. I'll show you quickly what that is, and I can email it to anybody who's interested.
I was just curious, like what, you know, $160,000 payment, you know, because I know we don't normally get property tax until the middle of the year, and
exactly.
Is it like PPRT?
Its PPRT was rather large. It was 109,000 if my memory serves. Let me see here.
Yeah, I just wasn't sure what the payments like schedule was for that. So
well, there isn't, and that's the interesting thing about it. It comes extreme. I know which months I'm going to get it 8 months a year. I know which months those are, but there's no. I mean, there's a pattern as to which months are the large months and which months are the small months, but I never know what I'm going to get. Yeah, so we got 109,000 in PPRT. Pilot is going to be the same every month. That's payment in lieu of taxes. That's something that we have Greg Zatera to thank for. You know, that's something he brought. That's a concept he brought to Decatur when he was hired as CFO. That is,
I miss Greg.
Yeah, that is that some of these entities that don't pay property taxes, but have a lot of property need to be, like the water department, for instance, need to allocate some of their costs to other city organizations that don't own the property, like library. So, and then just a little bit of other things. So this is the more detailed version that I work in. I'm happy to use this as the report, or the much simplified version that I've been showing for a couple of years.
This is fine. I mean, I think like towards the middle of the year, like we want to see a little bit more of the actual, like, which is what you normally include both. But I think like my only other question is, were the benefits like higher, like the trend, like that we've been seeing?
but this year we budgeted for that. So, okay. It was exact $59,000, which is what it was in December and in November, and I think it was 48 or something in October. So, okay. But this year we expected it. We budgeted a much larger number for health insurance.
Okay, that's fine. I don't need any more detail than that. I was just curious about the trend. If you're still,
and even if it's just one committee member, you want to see it, I'm happy to send it along every month. John wanted to see it all every month. Yep. So I kept sending it to him, even though we weren't sharing it at the board meeting. He wanted to see everything. So so he got it. If anybody wants to see it, happy to show it to you.
Okay.
Okay. So the next is the financial report to the mayor and city council, and that's an action item.
Yeah, this is an annual report, one of three. Yeah, there'll be a city librarian's report for you guys shortly, more of a narrative report. There's the Illinois Public Library annual report that we'll approve next week also, and that's more statistical. This is more of a financial report. So I hadn't done this in the past, but I thought I'd give it to you guys to vet before it goes to the full board. This is Illinois law requires that this is a report from you guys. So Illinois law requires that you send it, and it's signed off on by Samantha, to mayor and city council on an annual basis, even though the city of Decatur is our bookkeeper. We just send financial information right back to them and say, yeah, you guys kept our books and this is what you showed us. So, but you know what? It gets read. I've had, David Horn for one has commented on it to me after we send it to them. I believe Bill Faber has commented on it when we sent it to them. So they do read it. And it's not, there's a little bit of statistical stuff on the last page, but it's primarily a financial report. So I wanted you guys to take a look at it and
I liked all the funds that were put in it. That's what I liked about it, was just the separation, just the different funds. Like the Cantoni, the Meyer,
Right.
Just adding all of that, because that stuff is just such a minor part, but it's nice to know because it is money that we have.
Right. Well, and we did start putting that in the main budget report too. When you get to if you scroll all the way down, you'll see we've got the trust accounts, Cantoni, and we've got yeah. So I hadn't been showing that to you guys, but we did start that. I don't know when, year and a half ago.
Sure. So I'll make a motion to send it to the full board. I looked at it. I thought it looked good. So
I liked it too. Somebody else has to second.
I will.
Excellent. Thank you. Okay. So all in favor, Samantha,
yes.
Anae,
Yes.
Jacoby,
Yes.
Sophia, yes. So passed. You guys switched around. Jacoby, you were ahead of Anae. Now Anae's ahead of you. I don't know why, but my screen keeps switching you guys up.
I will submit my position to a greater person anytime.
Hey, I also want to let you guys know I've been inviting Alyssa. So one of the things that you guys, when we had our meeting where we discussed this book, our special meeting in November, one of the things that you guys said was we need to develop a written succession plan. So there's a lot of things that only I know how to do, and I'm showing her how to do them in case, I get in a car accident or
Exactly.
keel over or whatever. She can, keep the.
Liz is pretty competent too. I have full faith in her.
As well, you should.
I know.
So she's going to be sitting
known
in
her
with
for a
us.
long
Thank you.
time.
She's going to be sitting in with us for a while.
Okay.
Okay.
Is there any other business?
I have a visitor. You want to say hi? I mean, this is an official business, so.
Think about,
good enough.
guys, think about next week at the annual meeting. We'll elect new officers. Samantha cannot be president again because her term expires June, at the end of June. I miss Claire.
Boo.
So, the tradition is VP takes over, secretary moves up to VP, and then there's a new person goes in the secretary spot, but it doesn't have to be that way.
Who's the secretary? I know I'm the VP, but I
Carl.
can't remember who this.
Carl.
Carl. Okay.
Yeah.
Jacoby.
I listen. I'm
Jacoby?
new. I'm
No, I don't mind. I mean, I'm
new.
That's one.
It's an A.
Hmm?
A for Audrey and A for Harris.
Yeah. Those are her friends at daycare. So A for Audrey, H for Harrison. I'll put her on mute.
is that it? That's all we've got, right? So, does anybody want to make a motion to adjourn?
Oh, I thought we was voting on the president. You look like you're running unopposed. Sophia.
No, I was saying, be thinking about that for next week, Jacoby. We're gonna
next
Next week is the election of officers. So.
Oh, that I was joking. You really doing this now? Oh, okay.
No. Next week.
Next week.
No, I know.
That's
That's quick. That's pretty.
Yeah.
Pretty quick.
I know. I was supposed to. I was supposed to do that sooner.
She'll still be on the board
Yeah, I'll still be here.
You're not going
yeah.
for a
anywhere.
few more months.
No, for a few more. You say a few more years. You said what was that?
Oh
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, I heard that too, didn't you?
I was still thinking about the foundation though. So I was still be on.
Samantha, you like service. I like that about you.
I love a library, so that's
We have a great library. We're
Yeah.
lucky.
we do. All right, I'll make a motion to adjourn unless, or did you come? You didn't make
No,
it.
no.
Okay.
He didn't make it.
Okay, we were just chatting.